There you go. So yeah, welcome again to our SIB September meeting. And for this meeting today, we have few agenda items, and we'll start with a few announcements. I will start with the staff updates from Nathan.
Sounds good. Welcome, Russell. Staff updates. So we have worked with the city manager's office to make that change to terms so that all board members' terms are going to end March 31st. And so everybody will get appointed, a whole new board will come in together after that, and everybody will have 2 years after that. We'll go back to the 2-year terms. Yeah. Just so that all the seats are ending on the same time, and then when there's new council members come in, they match with the same years of elections on that side too.
Just as a reminder, this is in line with what you voted for in July.
Well, I still don't like everybody being replaced all at the same time. I think that's insane.
That's all.
This is how
half and half. That's why.
Okay.
I know. I just think losing everybody all at once is kind of nuts.
And that would only happen if no one was reappointed.
Well, but still, if I'm just thinking, like the city council is elected every other year half and every other half. That's why I never thought that was a good idea.
I have a question. So if I get reappointed in March, but then I have to leave for college in like August, can we just reappoint someone like halfway through that deal? Okay.
Yeah, so with yours is a special case just because it lines up more with the school year and stuff. So if you guys end up voting for someone before like you guys end your term, because I know you do like interviews and stuff during the summer, or if we just want to wait until August to appoint someone and reach out to the mayor's youth council and have them appoint someone. But yeah, just kind of let us know when you plan your last meeting.
My brother's a junior, so he might.
Okay.
No max.
Just pass it down through the family.
Well, he's unmarried and he's vice mayor, so.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be the way to go.
All right, yeah,
Very
and
nice.
let me and Melissa know if there's any other questions about that process when it comes around to it. I'll talk more about sustainability workshops coming up in a minute. I've got a flyer on the next slide. But next event that's coming up is Open Streets ICT on Douglas, which is this Sunday, 12 to 4. Public Works and Utilities will have a table. We'll talk about water conservation. We'll have some job info. We'll have some of the new things we printed off. So folds about SIB, compost wheels, and to give out some of the weatherization kits, some other materials to print off. Yeah.
Do you guys still have the bee costume? I was planning on going anyway. So if you want me to wear the bee costume, I would be more than happy to.
If you wanted to wear the bee costume,
I would so do it.
We don't get volunteers, so yeah, if you want, I will warn you. I've heard it gets really hot in there.
I can deal with it.
Okay.
I decided I wanted to wear that ever since you presented on it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I will make a note to bring it to Open Streets. Then we'll be sorry if you're getting to. We'll be at Kennedy Plaza, so right in front of Century too.
Oh, go down there.
Oh, you will be by Century too?
Yes, that is currently the plan of where the put us. We have to get information though, so they might move us around. But
okay, I could help because I'm working the United Way booth from 12 to 2, so I could help from like 2 to 4 at the booth if you needed help.
So for Public Works, we have our booth staffed. Sophie is going to be switching off with me, so I don't have to be there all day. And so Ethan will be there the whole time. So sorry, Ethan. If you guys want a separate SIB table though, I can bring an extra table for you guys, but then we would have to have it staffed the entire time.
Lots of people before Sunday to sign up.
What was that?
You'd have to have a lot of people to sign up before Sunday, which is very important.
And so far, no one's talking about wanting to sign up. So I assumed you guys didn't want a table. Appreciate it if you guys do want it. I mean, that's something you guys could volunteer for, but currently we're just going to have our Public Works and Utilities table.
And connected to Open Streets, Walktober is starting. So there's a variety of events that Bike Walk Wichita has organized into a nice calendar on their website. If you want to check out all the different things that are happening. At the next Sustainability Board meeting, I've set up a short walk along the river and back if you want to get here early. Okay. We'll go at like 5:15. So if you have time to make it here before, you can join the walk, or if you want to join the walk in progress, we'll just be going along the river and then back to the parking lot.
Make sure to remind us plenty of times so we can schedule it.
It's on the Walktober calendar, so I recommend everybody look at
No,
it.
we're not on the Walktober calendar. So remind us if you want us to join your walk. before the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Another update is that mattress coupons are gonna be available from Sedgwick County here soon,
All right.
possibly October 13th, not confirmed. But you have to check out the Sedgwick County Parental Resources website for information on that. It'll be under their special events page.
I also was told that there would be a electronics turn-in.
A free electronics
this
event.
fall, I thought.
Last I'd heard, they weren't gonna do it in the fall. They usually do that in April. They usually do.
Next April? God,
That's
okay.
there was some sort of electronics recycling with Cox Communications over the weekend, where you could bring in small electronics and get tickets to the Wild Lights at the zoo. But
Okay.
I don't know who was involved with that, if that was the county or not.
Probably didn't.
And then other update from staff is that there's a survey currently open, I think until the end of the month, about next city manager, and it's for the selection board to look at, see if there's opinions on, so anybody can take that. It's available on the city website, and I can get you a link if you would like to have that sent directly. Just let me know after the meeting. I can send it to you.
Okay.
And got some upcoming events. So here's a flyer I put together. Already had a water conservation event at Westlink. Next weekend, on Saturday from 2:30 to 3:30, I'll be at Westlink with Catherine Johnson from Sedgwick County. We'll be talking about household waste disposal. It'll be a come and go event. So if you want to come by and see part of the presentation, or see, I think we'll have a Kahoot game going at times as well. But any questions?
Household hazardous waste?
Any kind of waste questions you have. It's supposed to be a one-stop shop. People can come by and ask any kind of questions they want answered in person. And then on October 10th, so that's a Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., I'll be at Angelou Northeast Branch Library talking about sustainable living. I'll cover basically everything related to sustainability going on in Wichita, and then also dive into a little more about waste reduction at home, some other tips like that. October 14th, I think it's a Tuesday night, 6:30 to 7:30 at Westlink. We're gonna talk about energy savings and some available rebate programs, and we'll see if we have any other presenters there, but I'll at least cover what's available from Evergy and from the state as well. And then highlight the sustainability board meetings as well.
Okay, moving to the next item, support updates. I know Ben is not present. Also, do you have any updates from you?
I feel like, what did we talk about at the last meeting? Did I already say that we finalized the plan? We looked at new designs for and finalized the plan for the First Street Bridge. So anyway, that was if I hadn't talked about that before, that was the primary item of business. There'd been a lot of argument about the best way to shrink the lanes on the First Street Bridge and expand walkability and bike paths because of the expected, anticipated, hope for, cross your fingers, ultimate completion of the connection.
Okay.
Going from First Street, which continues all the way out to the Red Bud Trail, and the other side of Seneca, which ultimately connects with the Prairie Travelers Trail. So there was a lot of discussion about how to do that. We came up with a compromise with 3 lanes, 2 lanes westbound, 1 lane eastbound, and designated bike and pedestrian paths there. There was a lot of discussion about how to effectively connect that with the bike lanes that are along the Arkansas River. But we finally worked out something there. And then beyond that, there was just some, general discussion about other matters that are on the city council's agenda. I still need to do some research as to what's going on with Douglas Street. Apparently, the bicycle pedestrian board had reviewed some plans for that over a couple of years ago. It's back on the agenda again. It's come back out of staff, and they've got some ideas about what they want to do with Douglas Street. And so there'll definitely be some reviewing of plans and some argument about that. Harold's been engaged, amongst those of us who are on the ICT trees list. There's already been some discussion of what the city is planning there. So that may turn into a fierce argument as well.
Sounds business.
That's mostly what we do. We get into really, really fierce arguments about very, very, very specific infrastructure plans, and then we finally exhaust ourselves and we go on to the next one. So it seems to work.
Okay.
Well, and the Douglas Avenue ones were also go way back to Douglas Design District.
Oh yeah. I mean,
That's
there's a
been a
long heritage there. I can remember the thing that we looked at like 2 years ago or something like that. Even that was a legacy from like maybe 5 years earlier. There's been multiple plans for Douglas and a lot of argument about, how best to deal with the fact that, okay, so there's disputes about how much traffic Douglas is actually getting and where on Douglas is that traffic, and to what extent is the width of the roads, actually a problem. I mean, do you really have a situation where you've got lots of drivers that are treating it as, 2 lanes either way, when there actually isn't markings to support that? Would, adding, bike infrastructure, expanding the size of the sidewalk, improve with that? I mean, it shrink the size of the road, which naturally slows traffic, but then that also.
That's what we want.
Yeah, but it also, I mean, you're talking about, are we gonna be taking out a bunch of trees in people's front yards when we're expanding that? I mean, these are arguments that come up, so. Don't shake your head. You know that it's entirely possible that, the city planners could look at a street and say, it's this wide, so we can divide it this way, or we can make it bigger and take out trees and then put in other stuff to, occupy that space.
I'm just saying, football-sized field is where it is right now on East Douglas, and it's amazingly, people speed so bad. It's too big. But the businesses said, "Oh, we don't want people to slow down."
I can remember having a long.
Want people to slow down. You want you to do
I
something with your
can remember
business.
having a long conversation with Kate Nigrip about this, and we actually both kind of agreed that maybe doing nothing is the best approach. But obviously, there are people that live along the streets that have complained about the speeding, and there's other issues. I don't know. I mean, and as always, there's the typical problem with government, which is somebody somewhere appropriated a pot of money. If we don't spend it on this, somebody else will spend it on something worse. So, maybe we should use it here. But yeah, in any case, the thing with Douglas is far from over. So we haven't even really gotten into it. I'm sure we will eventually, unless we get sidetracked by some other, very, very persnickety infrastructure issue and spend, a whole meeting arguing about that. Seriously, the meeting 2 months ago when we were talking about the First Street Bridge, we were like looking at those plans for nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just fighting over stuff. So.
It's getting harder when you have like all the city like push to start to create innovation sustainability. It's getting easy for new cities. We can have good planning, front-end planning.
That's a good point. Yeah. Anyway, so to whatever extent any of that is relevant to the SIB, that's what we got going on.
Yeah, this.
Hey, welcome. Sorry I'm late. So 2 things. One, I don't know if staff will tell this board, but I know at transit director told me that there was someone during city council public comment that didn't like advisory board members dialing in remotely from their cars. And so tonight I did not dial in remotely from my car and I was just late instead. So
Which is better.
Yeah. For transit sometimes because it's
Oh,
at
well,
10 a.m.
not for this board.
Not for this board, no.
You did it once.
Oh, I
You
did.
were on your way to, I think it was just like last month.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Right. Having your phone or your audio connected to the
It was
car.
my owner connected to the car, but yeah. So
I
anyway,
did it once before.
public concern about that, about
Did just get me about that.
advisory, there we go. So advisory board members are encouraged to either attend in person or fully remotely when you're not driving. So, but anyway, so I'm here. For transit, the big thing is that the software that runs all the back end stuff behind transit is all piecemeal. And so it all needs to get replaced. So that all is going to happen in 2026, which is also when the new hub's gonna open, when the redesign's so like transit
The
director's
hub?
like, yeah, it's called the
Yeah.
hub now.
What's called the hub now?
The multimodal
Oh,
center near
okay.
the baseball stadium.
It's officially the hub?
It is officially the hub.
Is that an acronym? HUB?
It should be. The engineer in me really wants it to be, and I think I'm gonna probably come up with something,
What could we call it?
right? Yeah.
Urban would be the U.
Hydropower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you took out
Urban,
like
yeah.
the parking garage with the, you made the parking garage smaller,
Yes.
Yeah,
And
the
you
garage
took
is
out
still there,
the-
it's just smaller.
but there were supposed to be EV chargers there.
Yeah.
I think those have been taken out.
Can't remember when the last open was. They might have been grant funded, which I don't know.
I don't know, that was in the initial plans.
Yeah. So yeah, that is that's the big update. There's constant tweaks to the routes going on based upon ridership. But yeah. So
Thanks for that. Any other updates?
Got some updates from your youth council.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Sorry.
So, okay, we solidified yesterday our 4 big issue group projects. So our 4 issue group projects are gonna be Wichita history, freedom and equity, and then we decided to continue doing sustainability. And one of our members who was on the sustainability board with me last year wanted to do something about like a furniture return or like an old furniture deal or like a fair.
Okay.
And then our last one is homelessness. And we're currently working on our council-wide project, which is gonna be a student news series about just things in Wichita. And Max and I we did a run through and we did it in Redbud Trail. And it's just talking about different like places in Wichita that are cool and people can go to.
That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nice.
thanks for sharing that.
Let me suggest for Wichita history,
Yes. Mhm.
the cemetery.
Maybe. I mean, we were
I mean,
thinking.
you don't think that way,
Yeah.
but I mean, and even the cemetery across the street from the city-owned one is the historically black cemetery,
Yeah.
and they would love to have some history.
There's a
Research
cemetery
on that.
tour on October 30th.
That's interesting. I went, oh, that's, I don't know how I do that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's,
How we can sign up?
I can look it up.
Who's
We were
running,
thinking
who
of-
runs
I
that?
welcome seat,
I think
street
from
sit-ins
the
and that sort of stuff.
Wichita Midwest Genealogical Society, it's the one that's up in North Topeka.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ooh.
it's supposed to take you around to the historic graves of our founders.
Okay,
Highland Cemetery
so I
is
bet it doesn't
full.
include the black cemetery.
Maybe consider that. So, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Any other updates? You gotta go, Paul.
Cindy,
Sandy,
anything?
sorry, you have something from your side?
Did you guys call on me?
Yeah.
You were kind of breaking up some, so I couldn't tell. So just kind of going through just a few things that are happening in the planning department overall. With it still no progress on the stuff related to solar energy conversion systems. That went back on March 10th to the Board of County Commissioners, and for an ask to amend the unified zoning code to allow large scale solar projects. And so it's kind of been stalled there with the city council working with Sedgwick County. So I just wanted you to know, like, it's not really going any place. And I thought that was certainly applicable to what we're doing. The other thing is, and I don't know if that makes any difference or not, but I did recently ask about where we're at with the land bank in regards to doing infill. And that seems to kind of stalled as well. The land bank apparently hasn't been very successful. So I'm asking for a report in regards to the land bank. And then the other thing is that you should probably just know is that they are working right now to put together a group for a comprehensive plan update. So reviewing the comprehensive plan in regards to the urban growth areas map, the future land use map, and locational guidelines. So they're going through that process. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because we had discussed that at the last meeting. I had sent information for people to potentially apply to be on that committee, and I know applications closed. And so September 8th is when they close. So I think they're probably right now in the process of deciding who's going to actually be on that committee to look at those changes in the comprehensive plan. I know that professional engineer consultants was the only proposal submitted for that RFP to kind of guide that process. So it'll be interesting to see who they choose and what's going to happen as a result of that process. So that's really all I have.
Thanks, Cindy.
You
Good luck with the solar farm thing. That was really disappointing the way the commission voted last time. I hope you have some luck.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of negative feedback, I guess, overall, especially about large scale solar. I think that we certainly have to consider ulterior, gosh, good grief, different energy than what we're just doing. So
Yeah,
I don't know why
there's a lot of information specifically targeted at people at the county commission.
Yeah, well,
same.
Yeah, same with the planning commission, because certainly there was different solar companies reached out to us, people that were advocates of solar power. But of course, we also heard from people that were not in favor of solar power. So as somebody who's traveled all over the country, in a lot of the big metropolitan areas as well, the rural areas, I take these wild road trips and check things out. I feel like that, we're kind of behind in the solar energy game. So
does this have something to do with, because I happened to run into Councilmember Glasscock, and he came over and he told me, you're going to be so happy because we're going to put in on city property a solar array. But I haven't heard or seen anything of it since then, but he was excited about it.
I haven't heard anything about that whatsoever.
I don't know where it was supposed to be or anything, but it sounded like it was going to be city property, so the county couldn't object.
I have to tell you, as somebody who recently spent 12 days in England, I was really shocked on how far we are behind in the US overall. So,
yeah.
Yep.
It's a conscious decision to do that.
Yeah. Yes, solar energy is so critical. I had like a few projects in my career using solar energy, not only for lighting, but for water treatment and desalination to offset this carbon emissions, to offset all this, especially like if you have like a remote area and you need to have desalination water treatment. You are far away from the grids, right? It's the only way to have like off-grid concept using solar energy. As the challenge after that, people come to us say, oh, we have made like a large area to have solar panels. But due to the new technologies for the concentrated solar powers, you can have like a focused energy and start to get like higher order of it's called like concentration factor CF. There is like a big project in one of the countries in the Middle East using something called like solar dome. So solar dome is like mainly like a dome, a metallic dome, half above the ground, half under the ground. Get the water in, start to have evaporation, condense, and have passive evaporation or passive water treatment.
Yeah.
So I agree with her comment, a lot of improvements. Anyway, so moving forward for my updates. So my updates for this month, let me share my screen. You cannot start.
I'll give it.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So my update for this month is mainly like a sustainability report came from well-known software companies called BDI Technologies, and this like as I mentioned, like software company is providing like a broad range of business solutions for people working with the sustainability, with C-stores, with retails, and they try to have this report. It's called 2024 Sustainability Report, and this one conducted in February 2024 last year, and conducted in an online survey form. Around 1,200 participants for this one. They try to get some inputs from the consumers about the sustainability. So I have like a screenshots here from the report, and you can access this one from the website. And if you have a problem, I can share it with you. So the first screenshot got my attention is the consumer making sustainability as a priority. So according to this survey, like 80% of consumers care about the environmental impact of their orders. And as you can see here, they are tracking the same behavior from 2021 to 2024. And you can see the percentage of people willing to pay more for sustainable products are growing and growing. And they have example here, when comparing two similar products, priced $10 or less, 71% of the consumers would select one of the sustainability practices, which is good. So 44% out of 71 prefer sustainable options at the same price. 27 are willing to pay more to have sustainable option with the products. Another interesting screenshot from this report is the expectation in the store or at the pump. If like gas station at the pump or the store, what's your expectation? So they have like a 5 sustainability expectation for the C-stores. 38% of them looking for resource efficient products, using sustainable packaging and recycling 34%, and another 31% for incentives to use like reusable, like to encourage the consumer to take kind of recycled bags. EV charging stations, 31%, people looking for more EV charging stations.
Yeah.
As we know, carbon emissions, carbon footprint, people still have 24%. And if someone talking about carbon emissions and connects this to the fuel, this elevates the awareness of the consumers, not about the gas, about the consequences of getting the gas. What are the carbon emissions? It is that like a piece of information, like 18-wheeler truck consumes around 6 gallons of diesel per mile. Every gallon of diesel generates around 22.37 pounds of CO2 emissions. It's like a huge emissions. How many 18-wheeler trucks all the way moving forward and backward? A lot of emissions coming out. So how much people would pay? Like 65% of consumers would pay more as a pump to offset the carbon emissions. Great news. So but you can split it into different percentages, right? So 28% out of 65 are willing to pay 1 to 5 cents more to offset the carbon emissions. 19%, they can pay double the number, right? From 6 to 10% on the gallon to offset that. 12% will pay like $1 charge flat, if you accept the sustainability costs behind the gas emissions. EV, electrical vehicle, hybrid cars, one of the top topics for the discussion. 71% of the participants what considered like a electrical vehicles or hybrid vehicles, 33% out of this percentage are considering one as their next vehicle. You know, I have my gas now, but if I need to move forward with another one, I will have this as an option. 38% will have the intention if to get one if fit in their budget, you know. So they have like kind of financial barrier here, you know. Some comments came about what are to be opportunity for improvement in our homes or maybe in the stations, but most of what I see here is mainly having like electrical vehicle charging station more accessible and the price. So big takeaway from this report, there is like growing interest for consumers about sustainability, yes. And also consumer will pay more for gas station if over carbon offsetting, yes. As I mentioned, like 20%, they can have a flat $1 to do that. So like interesting report, you know, this is just screenshots, more details you can find over here. And I made sure that with ASN and release the report as a PDF, so you can share it part of the outcomes for this meeting. Any questions or discussions about that?
Just to emphasize one of the points that you made at the Drive Electric ICT event that Lori organized, I had an opportunity to speak with a couple of different reps, one from Hatchet, one from Evergy, you know, and both of them were familiar with this issue. Like, for instance, I asked them about, you know, so, I mean, how much of an obstacle is it that you're just, you know, not getting a lot of pickup when it comes to gas stations, when it comes to grocery stores, when it comes to, you know, all sorts of different businesses and institutions, you know, having charging stations. And my thought was, you know, people, you know, are worried that there's not enough charging stations out there. And the thing that they both emphasized to me, and this was separate conversations, was that, yeah, the data suggests that most people, they're not worried about that. They're more worried about the time that it takes to do the charging. You know, people are used to being able to fill up their cars really quickly. They want to be able to charge their cars really quickly. And so, you know, the point that you had up there in the previous stage, you know, like the #1 speed of charging right there. I'd never really thought about that at all. But I mean, so the people who are marketing EVs, they are thinking about exactly that. They recognize that that's a big issue for a lot of people. So anyway,
I did experience that in one of my visits to one of the cities here in the States. I did travel and my rental car was electrical vehicle. I had the app on my phone. I looked for my EV charging station. I was new to the app, new to the EV charging stations. And I learned after that there's like 2 categories, like superchargers, you know, and the normal charger. The normal one, it takes hours, right, to charge my car, you know. And I have to stick to my car like this, you know. And I have to watch how many miles I gained from charging, you know. I'm willing to pay more, yes. I'm willing to pay more to get faster charging, yes, I can do that. But I was limited with the logistics at the area where I was visiting. I don't have supercharger close to me. So your point totally valid, you know. And
well, I mean, again, it's not something. I mean, we have a hybrid, but we don't have a full-on EV, and so I just never really thought about it. I assumed that it was all, you know, the proximity of chargers, which is, you know, a real thing. But no, the big thing is the speed of charging.
No, this is a valid point.
One of the guys was telling me about how, you know, we could just need to get gas stations to lean into this and, like, you know, do the QT thing and make it kind of a restaurant. So set up tables outside, park your car, charge it, and then, you know, plan on spending 20 minutes, a half hour, you know.
You get an ice cream cone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, but you can charge at a fast charge in 30 minutes.
I didn't experience that, but I heard about that.
But even that, I mean, our infrastructure, you know, has long been organized around the idea that you pull into a service station, you get gas, you leave. And so,
Except when you're at home,
oh,
you
oh,
don't
yeah,
have to
oh,
do
yeah,
it
no,
all.
no,
You
there's,
have to do it all.
I don't dispute that at all. I'm
But
just
when
saying
you're on the
that,
road, you still, when you get out, you fill up your tank. You may leave it, because I've always done this, just left it running and then I went inside and got my pop and got my whatever, but because that can take you 15 or 20
Yeah,
minutes and
yeah.
then it's charged by the time you're done. Now, chargers have changed, even probably since this was done.
I believe
Chargers
also
are a
like
lot
from
faster.
my reading for this particular topic, all the efforts from the research is tapping into advanced batteries, We need to have the batteries have like a more capacity to store energy. But we have also to look to the other side of the problem, how we can get access to more superchargers, for our trips. Yeah, any other comments or questions? Okay. The next item for our, no, so I have to go now with the meeting minutes. So we all received the meeting minutes for August. So I'm asking if anyone has any comments or any missing points from the meeting minutes. Okay. For those in approving the meeting minutes, say aye.
You need a motion and a
Need a
second.
motion for the, yeah,
I
forgot
move to approve the meeting minutes.
Okay, thank you. Second motion?
second,
Thank you, Hassan. Okay, for those in approving the meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone against that or doesn't agree with this meeting minutes? Going once, twice. So I'm going to approve the meeting minutes for August 27, 2025. Moving forward with our items for today, we have two discussion items. Number one is a follow-up from what we discussed before in July. And maybe you have some discussion. Last call is a micro grants criteria.
Yes, so just a rehash of what we've been talking about here. Sustainability Board is going to set the scope of eligible projects and priority categories for these micro grants. City staff will open and host those applications online. There's a platform that the Arts Division uses that we can also use. And we'll make sure to review those applications, make sure they meet the minimum requirements that are set. And then any that meet those minimum requirements will get passed on to you all. You're going to review and score those based on the criteria that we talk about today. And there'll be a closed session meeting for the board to discuss applications after that scoring is ended. And you will choose your 10 awardees. We'll work with law to create an agreement once you've chosen those awardees, send out of those agreements, disperse funding, tracking, all the other financial things that need to be done for this kind of official grant. And we'll also have them send a final report, and I think you all wanted them present to the board as well.
Mhm.
So
And that would be good to do video of those.
Dylan had put together some scoring. There we go.
so yeah, I'll just talk this over so I know, present this out to the group. So this is just obviously a draft, so I welcome any feedback, changing this, rewording anything, throwing it away, like whatever. But it tried to capture many of the points that we had brought up in our discussion of, is the project really even relevant to the areas that we believe, we're concentrating on? Does this really benefit broader community, and we can rate that, more than just themselves or a small group? Is it actually realistic? And is it unique, or is it something new that we haven't seen before? So there's a few criteria. We can maybe decide to weight these differently. I just have a 0 to 5 score on everything for right now, but any of that's up for discussion, but just wanted to get some ideas on paper.
I will make one note. I do believe there is a category we have to change the equity and inclusion one to line up with current city standards, just because this is something that the city is going to be putting out. So I'm not saying you can't weigh, underserved parts of the community. I just think that has to be renamed to make the lawyers happy.
Different wording. Yeah.
We can definitely rename that, thank you.
From my experience for proposals, I usually have, when we send a proposal or ask for a proposal, what is the contingency plan? What you proposed didn't work. If you give you money and you propose A and B and C, looks nice, you know? So what happens if you didn't meet that? You know, what is your contingency plan? What you will do next? So something like that, we would like to, when we have like interview with the applicant, we need to see that, or we have it as a criteria, or make it clear what is the contingency plan if someone doesn't meet what he proposed or she proposed.
Ibrahim Elizabeth.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
just have a question for like Mayor's Youth Council. Is the word that like you have to change, is it equity? Because we have equity in one of our new issue groups, and I don't know if that's gonna be a problem as well. And we don't really have somebody guiding us on what we can and can't.
I would ask for liaison.
Yep.
Cause when we saw this, we ran it through our
Mhm.
supervisor, and then she referred it to law just because we have had to change the RFP process as well. So we can't do like emerging business anymore. We can't weigh that
Mhm.
in a different manner than anything else. So we took that criteria out. So that's where we got kind of that guidance. I know the official guidance isn't out yet. This is just precautionary, so it doesn't get pulled later. So I would definitely talk to your liaison about that and then see what she has to say. Maybe she might run it through law the same way we did.
Thank you.
Mischievous person me just wants to replace with something even more offensive. Just a string of profanity. Yeah.
We don't have this one. We print it?
We don't have printed copies of this, sorry.
Any questions about this microgrants criteria?
I like it, and I like that it's equally weighed actually, which seems weird, but yeah, actually.
I mean, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I mean, is there a way that we could get it down to fewer categories? But maybe, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I haven't seen, I didn't look at this before right now, so.
Well, and I wondered about the innovation and creativity, because I don't know that it has to be something new
Mhm.
to qualify.
That's true, that would be a good one that we could remove, yeah.
Cause you know,
I
'cause I mean, we can use our judgment. If it's something new and cool, great, but if it's something that the city or the people of the city have been wanting to do, but just don't have the funds, this might be a way to move something forward.
Yep,
And
that'd be
I'm
great.
thinking specifically about some of the tree issues. There is nothing innovative about that. We know what we need.
Mhm.
And if we can get help doing that with one of these grants, then that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that have been floating around out there, but
Yeah,
we all know
but
about
maybe
them
their
already.
approach is innovative and how they're going about it, but I get what you're saying, and I think that would be an easier one if that cleans up this process, and one less thing, we could definitely get rid of the innovation and creativity line there.
So you'd be scoring out of 25. There is a note for optional bonus points if a project combines multiple benefits.
Again, that could reduce some complexity and save time if we want to remove some of that.
Should we give like more credits for people as the first time or small entities? Like some people, like I'm not sure who will reply to our call, but if small groups, small entities in terms of resources, should we support them? I'm trying to brainstorm with you, you know.
I mean, I think the bigger players might not consider doing this
They
because it's
won't
kind of
even want
small
this.
potatoes.
Yeah,
So I think we might naturally down select to small groups anyway.
Okay.
yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we'll get, but I'm trying
Yeah.
to brainstorm with you if we should give credits for people with
Mhm.
limited resources. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well, I would bet that most of the people will have limited resources that will apply.
Okay.
Because this is not a lot of money.
I think that it's good and it helps it's gonna help to focus scoring things, and then, we're all gonna have our own like interpretations of what this means, and that's important actually. You know, it helps guide our thoughts, but it does provide us individual judgment on
Yes.
how a proposal meets that.
So that's what we would, I think, need to decide, and a question that I had for everyone is, if we do each of these, our own assessments, then do we average our scores? Like if we each fill this out for each of the applicants, do we average that for, that together, or do we need to just, how do we get to the score collectively?
I think averaging could be good.
Just total points, so we don't have to do any division.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do total points.
Yeah.
But aren't we gonna meet on all these too and talk about how we scored and why? Because that may change our scoring when somebody goes, right, I didn't think about that,
Yeah, we could.
you know, while we're talking. So
Yeah.
just doing math, there may be more than just the math.
Just depending how many applicants you have,
Mm-hmm.
you may use the scoring as a way to lower the amount of applications you would then discuss at that closed meeting, so
Yeah.
it may just
Yeah.
be used for that purpose rather than.
Yeah, if everybody
your
gets zeros,
final-
then they're not coming.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if there's maybe a top 20, then you would narrow that down to 10.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that makes
We might
sense.
discuss it before. What is the time frame when we are trying to release this call?
Oh, we came up with that last time.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was like, I think we were gonna discuss the rubric this month,
Okay.
maybe approve it this month,
Sure.
maybe approve it next month.
But
We had significant changes
we have
and
only
then,
October coming up, as November and December we are not.
right, and so that was the time period that it was gonna go
From
out
us,
for,
yes.
for people
Okay.
to submit.
Was it gonna go out January 1st?
I think
I
so.
think that's what we were talking
I
about.
think it
Was it
was.
January 1st, or did we decide December 15th, in case people wanted to do
Oh.
it over?
Oh,
the-
to give them a little time to.
We just
get
approved the
going.
meeting minutes. What did we say?
Yeah.
We all
Yeah,
said we
it must be
agreed with
there,
that.
right?
I don't think it's in there.
Oh,
Or you can decide now still.
well, we
Yeah.
may have talked around it and
Wanna-
around it. and
I
didn't actually
mean,
come up with
Part of
anything.
having a plan is not changing it. Unless you have a good reason to.
So we have to release the call before end of the year, right?
You don't
Okay, we
have,
We
did.
don't have, but we have.
What does it
we
say?
have some about the money.
Application opening January 1st, application closing after 6 weeks.
Yep.
Final awards will be made before the end of March.
okay, I did put it in there.
There we go. Yeah,
you.
see,
We
I
just
knew it
had to
was.
get to the bottom,
Right?
but what you're talking about with the 15th was maybe just starting, letting people know.
Yeah, it was
That this is coming,
awareness,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So do we wanna scratch the innovation creativity? Tweak the equity inclusion to be
Mhm.
less hot button
Mhm.
and call it good?
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard.
I mean,
Trying to figure out what you
well,
want to call
okay,
it now.
I mean, you could say like,
We had to go through yesterday, I was thinking about,
in,
everybody brought up the idea of doing a board like that. Last year, we had something called cultural kickback, and that's something Mayor's Youth Council has done for the past 5 years, and the city made us cancel it.
mm,
Like, we had vendors lined up, and it was coming up, and they made us just stop it.
Yeah,
maybe, does the project reach a wide variety of Wichitans?
Or we could just say community need. Or something,
Mhm.
I don't know. The benefit or.
will they ding us on underserved parts of the community?
I don't think that that's bad, I think that that could be a good way to pivot.
I
'Cause
think
that
you'd
could
have to
be
take
anybody,
out
yeah.
equity and inclusion and then diverse.
So equity, inclusion, and diverse have to go.
Under-
Yeah, I'm
Underserved
just going with the
community
DEI
portions.
acronyms.
Yeah.
Does the project reach or benefit underserved part of the community?
Yes.
And just take the rest of that
Sure,
out?
yeah.
Okay, but
Who's
what are you
against
gonna
that?
call it?
Weirdos. Yeah.
Not equity inclusion, clearly.
We'll just leave it blank.
Community benefits.
I think that that was another one of the categories. Yeah.
Oh, it's up there. Yeah,
Wow.
you're right.
Dang.
You could
Use
call this
ChatGPT.
community
Yeah, but
benefits and
Circles.
engagement.
Should we add it to the community engagement? Move it?
Yeah, let's just.
Merge it?
Or you could do what Ethan just said, which is to put community engagement and community benefit as two separate categories.
Sure,
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
cool. And then we were gonna strike the innovation and creativity category. I think truly like innovative and creative ones are probably going to mark high on the other categories as well, just inherently. And then that satiates your need to reduce the categories.
Yeah.
By at least one.
Good idea. Do we want that, I'd put it as optional, do we want that bonus that like, hey, if there's more here, or is that just adding complexity?
I feel like James would say this if he was here, that you could use that to reward projects that meet your focus areas, water conservation, waste reduction. You wanted to include a bonus, but if you wanted to strike it as well.
Is that something that's important to us?
Should we have like a minimum points like we have for every category, like 5 points? If you have like
Right.
someone like 5,500 or something like that, do we have meet like a minimum points per category?
I think that'll probably shake out in the full gamut,
Yeah.
because like a ton of people rate things 0, it's gonna drop down to the bottom anyway, naturally.
I mean, like, no, they like 0 or 1 or 2.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
minimum criteria, you know, minimum points, we have to keep it for each category.
I don't think it's super
If someone, for
necessary.
example, given 1 for community engagement,
Right, they
so
just,
what is the point now, you know? If
Yeah.
he doesn't care about community engagement, but having whatever the others.
I mean,
This is my point, you know?
maybe it's still a good idea. Even if it doesn't focus on a giant swath of the community.
I mean, we said we were gonna probably take like maybe the top 20 highest scores and then review those probably as a group, right?
if-
I mean,
Yeah.
find 10 of them,
And
so.
if we get to that group area and we see someone has a bunch of 0s from a bunch of us, well, that's probably a good idea that they shouldn't be selected.
Yeah.
So the scoring guide, I mean, I thought it was gonna be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And, but
Mhm.
it looks like it's 5, 3, 1.
Oh, yeah, we can make that 0, yeah. I guess I didn't include that 0 is definitely an option.
So it's just gonna be 5,
Go
3.
back if you want, there is no 0, right? You have to give 1 star.
Yeah, I guess I did it because, yeah, an odd number,
Mhm.
I thought, 1
Sure.
through 5, an odd number, you have to.
Yeah, I think 1 through 5.
Yeah. The odd numbers need more math.
We made
I'm
this
just
studies
saying.
before. Do we have a plan?
Got like 3 engineers, we'll be fine.
So what happened if we didn't meet the requirements for the applicants? Like, if we didn't get enough number of?
Then they, as staff, those won't ever get, because they won't meet the minimum like
That's what I'm
things.
Yeah, but you're saying if we don't get 10,
Yes,
Oh,
will each one of them get more?
this is my question.
I guess we'll deal with that when we get to it.
Or do we just hold off and open it back up again?
Let's think positively. We're gonna get,
I think
I-
we'll
I
get.
think
we're gonna
we'll
get
get it.
exactly the
I think
right
we'll get
number.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Do we want to change that bonus to what Colin mentioned around our SIB focus areas? They get a bonus for,
I don't know, we had to fill that out, we had to do that, but, that was mostly guided by one person who suggested those two. And I think there's a lot,
You guys voted on that as a board.
I know.
You guys all, I don't think it was a one.
Oh, I
person
know,
thing.
because we were so tired by then. But to me, those are two great issues to work on, but there's a lot. And anything could fulfill the requirements, whether it meets those two particular things or not.
I mean, that's why it's a bonus and not a primary
Yeah,
scoring.
I guess I just perceived the bonus would be kind of like a tiebreaker, not that I think we'll have one.
Yeah. I think that's probably because, yeah, that it does add some more permutation to potential ties.
I would love to add an option in with the optional bonus if we're gonna keep that it's innovative.
Do we not have that over there?
we did, but we removed it.
We
Yeah.
did have it, but I still think that
Oh,
we
innovative.
should give them extra credit for having an innovative new
Something out of
type
the
of
box. I
idea.
like that.
I
Should we
mean,
add this one?
we could make it complex. We could say combines multiple benefits. is related to the focus areas and or is innovative.
No, that's too much.
Yeah, that's too much.
Simple criteria, as few as possible, is gonna make gonna make it most, efficient for us to be able to, make decisions about the micro grants. The more details that you have, the more argument there's gonna be. And, we don't need to multiply variables that, may be important, but, that we don't have to expect, every single proposal to have considered, well, how do I fit this? How do I fit that? How do I fit this other thing?
We're not asking for professional grant writers to write.
Well, no.
No.
That's
So
intentional.
maybe to that feedback, what if we remove the bonus entirely from the rubric, but we utilize the discussion together to help that as that tiebreaker?
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I agree.
Simple.
Lead.
There it
It's
goes.
great prejudice. Cool. Should we vote on it?
I still feel like we could have named community benefit just a little bit different, because what's written and naming it as community benefit is kind of like, I think reading the tag, you're gonna think that it is probably D&I, but like, I think we just could come up with a better name for it besides community benefit, because we already have community engagement, and that seems just kind of similar to me in terms of tagging it.
I was proposing having like one title, engagement and benefits, and moving this one to the top, so just 2 points. Like you can say like community engagement and benefits, have the first point, and as does the project page to the benefit, measure together, so.
Just an idea. We could keep it like that.
Sure.
So are the board members agreeing for what we have right now, or should we merge it?
I like it as
Oh.
is, as written.
Yes, as written.
Are we going to, I mean, is this gonna be shown beyond, like, is this gonna be on the website, the rubric?
It's gonna be public, so when people are thinking about what project to submit, they'll know what they'll be scored against.
Okay.
Sorry, I should-
Because what is a community? It's a group of people. A variety of people.
Okay, so do we need to make a proposal to vote on it and then second the proposal and then do the vote?
Yep.
Okay,
Is there any?
And are we happy with this order for this criteria? I have in my mind, like, environmental impact is good, should we move the sustainability, the last one, the second one? Is this in orders or just
I
whatever?
don't think-
I don't
Not
think
order,
it's in
right?
any kind of order.
Yeah,
So we have to make it clear to the applicant, this is not in order. So people should not be,
I mean, they won't be scoring it, we'll be scoring it, so,
but this will be.
But they
public.
will see
They will
this.
see that.
yeah, yeah,
But it's all scored the same.
they'll score the same.
It's all out of the
There's
same
no way to-
points.
0, 5.
Okay, I'm just making sure that some people, like, when I see criteria, oh, this is the first one, higher priority.
Oh,
Should I have more
Right.
attention here? This is my point,
Right.
So we can map.
So
it
are
like
you
I
gonna weigh them differently? 'Cause you're talking about prioritizing.
Just
them.
put a sentence up at the top saying, all variables are weighted equally,
Something like.
or, just,
Yeah.
something like that.
yes.
Just a
Yeah.
short sentence like that.
Okay,
And blankly, I move that we approve the scoring rubric as written.
Second.
But before you guys vote, you have to have public comment.
so for our people
Nothing from Antonio?
from community, do you have any comments with that?
Antonio, do you want to say anything?
Mr. A?
He can't even hear through them headphones.
Anything? Antonio said
Okay, he said
anything.
anything.
Okay.
The rubric, we fit it up and down the line, but I do say that our project that we're planning, and we've done 2 of them before, we're planning a bigger one this coming time, but it's gonna be in April. So I'm not sure the timing fits right, but the other side of it is we're not we would not come to you and expect you to foot the whole bill because this is gonna cost, at this point, at a minimum of $10,000 for us to pull off what we wanna do. And so we're in a major fundraising mode for now
Yeah.
until this spring.
But this extra could help if you
But,
want it.
but extra, I mean, we give away mulch with trees, and that mulch costs a minimum of $4 a piece. So if you're giving away 100 trees, there's $400.
Mhm.
So what's called a micro grant would be suitable
Mhm.
for something like
Right,
that, plus
right.
money for publicity,
I agree.
Exactly.
printing, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Our big expense would be the trees.
I was just gonna say, in reference to some of the things that ICT Trees does, we usually talk about underserved communities. So,
Yeah, well, but we don't have to. We can talk about
yeah, at least-
communities that are located, neighborhoods that are located near urban hotspots, you know,
Mhm.
and,
Like be selective for your outreach.
yeah, we have the benefit of research that identified 17 census tracts that are near, that are basically circling the center city. And, you know, and those areas have a high proportion of low-income people. They have a high proportion of children and elderly who are susceptible more to heat. And, so those heat islands, are where we are targeting our activity. Now, it so happens, that they're not, you know, totally minority people around but those areas would also fit the classification of probably of underserved communities. And we're not doing College Hill, we're not doing, and one of the things I've had to explain and haven't done a good enough job, I need to explain it more. We really cannot go into neighborhoods where there are wealthy people
Mhm.
and or wealthier people. The reason for that is because we have a very good relationship with the industry in this town. And those folks that can afford to buy a tree should go to a nursery or a garden center and buy a tree. It's the folks that can't afford
I see your
to
point.
buy a tree that would want it.
Well, this is a valid point, yeah.
Yeah, and we value our alliance, but you know, the first impact is like council members want us to be active in their areas. So happens, I think almost there's a urban heat island in every council district except for the one out east.
Mhm.
One,
Two.
Yeah, Becky's. And, but the rest of them, they're just like this circle. Because, and why is that? Because that's where all the concrete
Yeah.
and the built environment is.
Yeah.
And then the neighborhoods are around that.
No, good point. And this is the same, and is aligned with what I mentioned earlier in this call about targeting people with limited resources so we can make sure they have access to stuff like that. Yeah, thank you. Any other comments from the public? Okay, then you mentioned make a motion, right?
I did.
Okay, and I heard two voices at the same time from Russell.
Oh.
Just count Cindy.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, thank you guys. So I'm going to approve this criteria for micro grants. So this
You have to call.
Yeah, you do need to call for a vote.
You have to call for a vote first.
say it again.
Oh, for a vote.
Oh, vote, okay,
Cause yeah, it's at the board
We have to
vote.
vote.
okay. So yeah, I'm voting to agree. This one.
Everyone
all of
else
us.
has
Oh.
We all have
All
to
of us.
vote.
Okay, guys, sorry for that.
It's a long day. It's okay.
Yes, okay.
Call for the vote.
those in approving, sorry, for those in favor of approving this, approval of the criteria, say aye.
Aye.
So anyone against that or doesn't agree? Okay, so I'm going to approve it.
Phew.
Sorry for that, I missed the track.
It's okay. It's a long day.
Yeah.
We all work.
Okay, the second item I have is the ICT's proposal presentation.
And I've got some slides. that here.
So where do you want me to go? And
Where's the best place to be heard online?
I think you could go up front.
Yeah, I think up front.
I mean, maybe to the side, so we can all see the
Is there
thing.
something that I could click through this?
You're getting the remote right here.
There's no remote.
I will say the speakers,
Oh, no.
Use the mouse.
Okay.
they don't
Can you
move.
Oh, no, it does not.
Yeah, so usually we like
It's
us sitting at
actually
the
moved.
table, like
It's-
either.
Oh, you're gonna sit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
oh,
gonna,
yeah.
I'm
That
gonna
might-
sit,
that might
guys,
work.
is that okay?
That's
I
fine.
could stand.
Yep.
Why not? Imagine a podium, all right?
A very formal podium.
And here's your microphone, so
Right.
keep
And-
that in
and
mind.
you know what, and imagine me as being this, whatever you can imagine. Anyway, I want to thank you all for allowing me to speak to you today. I'm the chairperson of the board of directors of ICT Trees. We have two of our directors here tonight. Russell is on our board and Ramona is our secretary. So they both came to watch me do whatever I end up doing here. IC Trees is dedicated. Let's see what happens. What do I have next? There we go. IC Trees is dedicated, and you might recognize her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, I do this every time, but she claims not to be embarrassed, okay? We're dedicated to maintenance and expansion of Wichita's urban tree canopy. It's a legacy we hope to pass on to generations to come. Our vision is a greener, healthier, and more sustainable future for Wichita. I'm here to encourage you to share our vision and to work with us to make it a reality. Before we end this talk today, I'm going to offer you some concrete steps you can take as individuals. Things you can do to immediately help. But first, Wichita's shade trees are not an environmental amenity. They are a necessity. They're not a want, they're a need. And I will repeat, expanding Wichita's tree canopy is not a want, it is a need. At a time of steadily rising temperatures and extreme heat events that threaten the health and safety of citizens, the city's most cost-effective solution is trees. But the tree canopy, our best defense in Wichita, is slowly going away. Okay? Problem is worse in our central core areas, the places that need trees most. Now, I'm happy when anybody plants a tree anywhere. It will help us. But if we look at it strategically, what we want to address is our biggest worst. That's that's a phrase that I use sometimes. What's our biggest worst? Let's go there first. ICT Trees supports the planting and maintenance of trees by educating the public and policymakers of the benefits of our urban forest by planting trees in available spaces and by assisting residential property owners to plant and maintain trees. And we are less than 3 years old. To accomplish our educational purpose, we've organized an Urban Tree Fest. This was our first event. And let me show you some other things here. We had tree planting demonstration. We did that. The park director said, don't tell him about it.
Yeah.
One of our
Now you're
members
showing
was-
us pictures.
was
Uh-oh.
getting ready to ask if we could do this because the arborists that we work with wanted to do this. They do this, they've done this at other events. You don't have insurance. And so we had all these kids in Delano lining up, to get.
I bet you did.
So we
Oh.
did it. Yeah.
Wow.
It was Troy. He said, don't ask. We didn't ask, so you didn't have to tell us no. But we haven't done it since.
It's been too
Okay.
rainy.
Our tree walks, we teach participants what to plant, when to plant, where to plant, and how to maintain their trees. to assist homeowners, we've organized 2 free tree distribution. This is a new got it tree walk we did out at Urban. And we've given away already more than 100 trees to low-income residents living near Wichita's urban heat islands. More on that later. We've spoken at city council meetings, met with members of the council privately to advocate for trees, street trees, and trees in our parks. During all this time, we benefited from a tremendous outpouring of support from the citizens of Wichita, quite frankly. This support has enabled us to make substantial progress. This is another tree walk. Roger Spexarth is one of 7, I think it's master arborist certified in the state of Kansas. He's the guy right there with the sunglasses. This is the one we did this past spring. This was in 67214 and part of 67208, the part that's right below WSU campus with Oliver on one side, and then it comes over and meets with 67214, and then it goes down to, I think, Central's where we did the cutoff on the bottom. If you go any lower than that, then you end up in College Hill.
Yeah.
How many trees you have been distributed?
We gave away at this one, 67 trees were distributed in the neighborhood, actually, and then the time before that, it was 40. The year before, we gave away 40, so it's really 107 trees. We've learned a lot from all this. Sometimes, I will say though, that given the task, sometimes the task, given what we have to accomplish, what we want to accomplish, the task can seem almost overwhelming, especially because of the high stakes. Do you remember I said trees are a necessity, not an amenity? That trees are a need, not a want. Well, here's why. Wichita has a heat problem that is serious and getting worse. It's characterized by increasing annual temperatures, increasing numbers of days with temperatures exceeding 100 degrees, increasing average summer temperatures, increasing numbers of extreme heat events in both frequency and intensity, increasing summer nighttime temperatures, which inhibit cooling down from high daytime temperatures, and a lengthening of the freeze season. Wichita is trending hotter, and this trend is projected to continue. Let's see where else we go. This was at our tree giveaway, and this woman right here, we came right up to the point where it was, a few weeks before this, we've learned a lot about getting the word out, but it looked like we weren't getting enough people signing up to do this. These are low-income neighborhoods with a lot of rental property, and we do not give them to renters. They have to be property owners. So I was going around door to door in this neighborhood. This woman owns 2 houses besides her own. So she is right on the same street. And I came to her door. She thought that I wanted to trim her trees. She didn't really pay attention. And then later on, the next day, she picks up the flyer and says, "Oh, they're giving away some trees." So she came out and we gave her 3 trees because she had 3 houses. Anyway, let's see where else we're gonna go. And this is part of the crew. As you can see, some of our volunteers and a city council member there, who I noticed has not appointed anybody for this board. So I'll have to ask her. I don't want to be on your board, guys. But I got too much going on already. But
Who was Maggie's appointee to the board?
Renee
It's a
Renee
vacancy.
Boggs, and she didn't ever come. So
yeah, it says vacancy on,
Yeah.
So I'll talk to her. Right now, of course, she's tied up a bunch of stuff, but maybe after November. So in any case, there's variation from year to year, but the overall trend is clear, trending hotter is a serious threat to health and safety of those who live and work in our city. Over the last 30 years, heat has become recognized as the deadliest weather-related event in the United States. Heat-related illnesses include heat stroke, heat exhaustion, dehydration, cardiovascular strain, respiratory problems, and in severe cases, heat-related mortality. Moreover, heat can affect mental health. Researchers have found violent crime in urban areas increases as it gets hotter. See, this is annual days of extreme heat per year in Kansas, 4th district. So I grabbed that off of somewhere. One of those things that you look at there's all this information out there.
That's probably not the 4th district of
Just,
Wichita. It's
oh,
probably
it's
the 4th district, like where Ron
Kansas.
Estes's district is.
Hmm?
It's probably like Ron Estes's 4th district.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah,
Okay.
Kansas is for this is
yeah,
this is Ron S. This is our congressional district.
yeah.
CD. Yeah, so you can see where it's going. And of course, you know, we have some years are anomalous. Right now, we're having an anomalous year, anomalous
kidding.
summer.
Yeah.
Last year, actually, since I've lived in Wichita, it was the second drought I've gone through. And from what I can tell, talking to people, they come every 9 to 15 years. They're like, we do that, we go through those things. But most of the experts say that up until 2050, we're actually gonna have more moisture falling out of the sky in Wichita. Now, whether it falls on our reservoir or not, I don't know, but actually the big problem we're facing here is heat. Let's see what else I have here.
But hot air holds more moisture.
Yeah,
So it would dump
yeah.
on us worse because it's hotter over the city.
So this is Sedgwick County average daily minimum. I grabbed that somewhere. It's Climate Explorer, okay. And this was in the newspaper in Wichita Eagle last year. I don't know if you guys remember this or not.
Yeah, we went to that air show.
You may recall last year in
You were
July
there?
I was there.
2024.
Did
Yeah.
you
I mean,
see
it
any of
was-
the people that needed medical?
Yeah, we saw.
Oh, is that
people.
you?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, we hung out. Yeah,
It's your
underneath
man.
that wing.
I didn't go for that
They
reason.
had cooling stations, they gave away water, they had people out there, cause it's like, and they still had fire, you know, because of the heat, the effect of the sun on the tarmac,
Uh-huh.
on that concrete, which radiates it back up.
Weren't there a couple of people that had to be hospitalized?
There were. Yeah.
Says 17 had to be taken to the hospital.
Oh, my word.
Mhm.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, it was
Like
bad.
another
It was
road.
bad.
During the 7-day period, at the end of June last year, KWCH TV News reported at least 11 people were treated at Ascension Via Christi for heat-related issues. That was the previous week, and I didn't.
And there's another hospital too.
Yeah.
That's not all of them.
There are two reasons why Wichita is trending hotter. One reason is global climate change. That requires action at the local, national, and international levels. The second reason is what scientists call the urban heat island effect. Trees can help with both. I'm not going to talk about global climate change. I don't know where this was taken. It wasn't here. Maybe it was somewhere.
Yeah, there's mountains in the background. It's definitely not here.
Studies by NASA in cooperation with the city of Wichita found that urban heat island effect plays a significant role in amplifying temperatures within Wichita. The urban heat island effect occurs when conditions inherent to a built environment, such as high concentration of impervious surfaces, for example, concrete and asphalt, and a scarcity of tree cover, green space, causes heat to be absorbed and re-emitted. This was another increases in temperature come with increases in, this is about energy. But as temperatures increase, energy use increases. And they're saying that by 2050, we can, sitting on the trajectory we're on, it's gonna take 53% more energy to reach the same level of cooling that we've got right now. Wichita City Council, and I want to say, let me go on a little bit further. This was a study that was done a couple of years ago with NASA to identify urban heat islands in Wichita, and identified 17 census areas. This is EPA's definition of a heat island. Heat islands occur, I can see the rest of it, when a developed area experiences higher temperatures than nearby rural areas, or when areas experience hotter temperatures within a city. So we're talking about within the city and ours, obviously.
Harold, just so you know, we got about 10 minutes left before they'll start shutting.
Okay, here you can see who's affected by this. Downtown. And then as you go, you move out of the downtown area, the temperatures go down. That's why. You know, let me see if I can, there are different ways, you're probably familiar with a lot of these anyway. The most obvious way is that trees provide shade, so the sun doesn't heat the surfaces. They also do something called evapotranspiration, bring water out. And they help in other ways too. They significantly lower the cost of heating and cooling of our buildings. So you get a double whammy because, first of all, you're not using as much energy, and power plants don't need to produce as much energy as they would. Okay. So we've got a problem, and part of that problem is our development. But before we blame developers, city hasn't been doing a good job either, quite frankly. And I don't know if I got some of this on here or not. We strategically target, there's the 17 most vulnerable census tracts. And this is all the good things trees do. Cool cities, lower energy costs, clean air and water, increase property values, reduce flooding and stormwater runoff. These are a couple of headlines. I mean, it isn't a secret what's happening in the city of Wichita. These are, and they quoted city employees in this. This is from 2019, 2013. Deficit, about 44,000 trees since 2000. You go back further, the deficit was, it gets up to a lot more than that. How you can help? Hey guys, look at this. You can come to our fundraiser. You don't even have to go to our fundraiser. Go to our website and, you can donate, or you can, you see that, you can click on the, that won't be on it. The QR code's not on our website, but it takes you to our website. You can give us money, and suggested donations. We're gonna have a chili bar, advertising, the venue, $25, and if people show up, we'll pay for it. All right. $50 donation, we start making some money. $100 donation buys a tree. So, and let me finish.
Is the artichoke not donating the chili?
Hmm?
Isn't the artichoke donating it?
No, we are buying the chili.
Oh,
from them.
man.
Who's donating the trees?
Hmm?
Who's donating the trees?
People that pay for it.
Well,
They're buying them.
Where are we, I mean, we talked about this before. Where are we getting the trees that?
Oh, we're buying the trees from Hillside Nursery. Because in the past, we've got them from the Arbor Day Foundation, and they buy them all over and then they ship them in here. But we want to build our relationships in the community and support for what we're doing. And one way to do that is you know, to do business in the community. So all the money that's coming into this is gonna stay right here in Wichita.
Yeah, actually.
Good, yeah. So that's the big positive thing. We're a 501c3, so people that want receipts can get them. If I can leave you with one thought, is the trees are an amenity. They're not an amenity, they're a necessity, they're not a want. They're a need. We can do something about this. There's a problem, trees are the answer. Okay,
Thank you so
now,
much.
I have one other thing I want to give everybody on the board. This is our plan, this is what we're doing. We have discovered that in these communities that we're working in, you gotta start way far in advance. Yeah. You can do that.
Send them around.
You gotta start in advance, and so we've already started. We've already started to work on this. You know, going to different meetings and going and talking to people and stuff like that. I think I want to share something else on it too. These have been our partners and sponsors over the last 2 years. We work closely with the Park and Recreation, the city of Wichita. The last 2 years, Evergy has funded a lot of what we do. We've gotten a $5,000 grant from Evergy both last year and the year before. $5,000 won't cut it this time. Last year I asked for 10,000, I only got 5,000. So we've got to raise $5,000 or $6,000 more, even assuming that Evergy comes through. That's you, Randy, right?
Yes, that's me.
Yeah.
I haven't been sending out newsletters, too much life has happened, but
Yeah. And Alpha Kappa, or Alpha Kappa Alpha, which is a service sorority. ICT Tree Huggers has been helpful. You know, KMUW is our media sponsor. So, and they're a media sponsor for our fundraising. That's it. Did I go way over?
No, no, they haven't even called.
Thank you so
yet.
much, yeah.
The voice
Any
of
comments
the
or
hater.
questions from the board members?
Hey, the people at ICT Trees are just fantastic folk. They really are. And I just, you know, it's not like I've done a lot, but I enjoy, you know, just being around people like Harold, Elizabeth, and others who have been involved in these sorts of struggles for a long time. And so Lori and I were just involved in this this Sunday event that was down in Winfield with this strong focus on solar power. And it was really pushed by Bill Newman, an author that I think many of you are familiar with. And he has really dedicated his life over the last few years to an organization that he calls Third Act. He turned 60 years old and he said, you know, the best thing that I can do with the years that I have remaining to me is try to convince other people who are seasoned like me, to use our experience and our resources to do good. And I mean, Elizabeth Bishop is 82, I think.
I think she's a little older.
Maybe 84, but I mean, my gosh.
I think she's probably 82 or 80 even.
Yeah.
I think she turned 80 last year.
Oh, I thought she turned 80 a couple of years ago. Okay, but in any case, I mean, there are seasoned people involved that are really dedicated to this idea that, you know, they're working for trees, which take a while to grow. You know, this is truly an act of people that are looking, you know, to the next things that the subsequent generations will be able to enjoy. So I'm really happy to be part of the organization and really respectful of the things that Harold, really more than anybody else, is doing to build it into something worth supporting. And I mean, a lot of us were already familiar with ICT Trees, but I appreciate him coming and giving this presentation, because this is good stuff.
If you need any volunteers, I could make this like a required event for Wichita Mayor's Youth Council. And
You do
I
that?
can yeah, I can.
You can make that.
As
Oh, yeah.
the mayor, you could say this is a requirement.
Yeah,
We are going to need for our fundraiser,
yeah.
we need some strong people
Mhm.
we've got these big tables that need to get rolled out. And, you know, some of us are probably, wouldn't want to admit it, but, you know, we're sort of past those years when we are husky and got muscles and things. So, you know, we're gonna need help setting up.
I can get your email and then I could try to see how many people I can gather up. We've got a council of 20 people and I'm sure that they'd be interested. So
Yeah, I think that's great.
Mhm.
That was one of the, I know Ramona's been worried about, are we gonna have people able to set up?
Please, the library will close in 15 minutes. If you have books or other items to check out, staff are available near the self-check stations to assist. Please save all documents and complete all printing at this time. Thank you for visiting the Wichita Public Library.
So we are running out of time. Any other comments from the board members?
Yeah, you can type it in there as well.
Okay, for the public?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to adjourn this meeting and thank you so much.
Oh,
Interesting.
I would like to add something too.
Thank you so much. And
How
I'm
many
sure
of these
we'd
can you
love for that
spare? I
help.
have another
It's right
talk.
up our alley for activities that we do. And it's all high schoolers.
So they should be nice and strong.